Okay, we are on to lesson 5 in the Algebra Concepts Anchor. In lesson 5, we are writing the equation given a table. The objective is, given an XY table, the student will be able to write the linear equation that represents it to 100% accuracy. Okay, what that means, if I go back to lesson 2, I had given you a line, okay? I gave you the graph, and what you created was the XY table, okay? Instead now, what I'm giving you is just the XY table, and from that you have to create an equation, okay, or a rule, okay? And in this lesson, they're going to be word problems. Okay, so let's start with example 1. The table below shows the amount of growth a flower had every week for a month. Write an equation represented by the information in the table. Okay, so in this table, they're talking about the flower growth of a plant. Weeks are week 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? And that is going to be represented by the letter X. Okay, and in the other column, we have the height of the plant in inches, and that's represented by letter Y. Okay, so what that means is after week 1, the plant was 5 inches high. Week 2, the plant was 7 inches high. Week 3, it was 9 inches. In 4 weeks, it was 11 inches tall. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to write an equation to represent the growth of this plant. And you're looking for patterns just like you did in the last section. Okay, the general form that you're always going to be writing is you're going to start with y equals, okay, you're going to have some number. This box is just, we're going to be filling it in with some number. Then you're going to have times the letter x plus some other number. Okay, some other number is going to go in that box. All right, so you always need 2 numbers. There are 2 numbers that we are looking for. Okay, the first number that we're going to find is the number that's in front of x. Okay, and this number means the rate of increase of the plant. Okay, you can write that down. Rate of increase. Okay, so you want to look at the chart and you want to see how fast is the plant growing every week. Okay, well, from week 1 to week 2, how much is it increasing by? It's increasing by 2 inches, okay? That's the pattern from there. Let's see if it has that same pattern from week 2 to week 3. Yes, it increases by 2. 7 plus 2 is 9. From week 3 to 4, it's still increasing by 2. So it seems like every week the plant grows 2 more inches. So whatever the rate is, however fast the plant is growing, is the number that you want to put in the box in front of x. Okay, that's how fast the plant is growing. 2 inches per week, or 2 times x. 2 times what week number it is. Okay, the other number that you need to put in is this number, this blank box right here. We had to know how tall the plant was when we started counting its growth. Okay, we only know at the end of week 1. We want to know how tall was the plant at week 0 before we started counting the plant height. Okay, so there's not really room, but I'm going to just squeeze in week 0 right there. Okay, if at week 1 the plant was, let's do this, if at week 2 the plant was 7 inches tall, and at week 1 the plant was 5 inches tall, how tall was the plant at 0 weeks? Okay, if you thought to yourself 3 inches, you are correct, okay, because every week it increases by 2. So if you're going back a week, you could subtract 2 there, okay? So it went from, at 0 weeks, it was 3 inches tall. At week 1, it was 5 inches tall. So whatever height the plant is at week 0 is the number that you put in that box, okay? Put there that that's week 0, okay? That's the starting height, or the starting point of the plant. Okay? Once you figure out those two numbers, you have your equation. Okay? So your answer is, for the equation, is y equals 2x plus 3. Okay? That's what you want to put for your answer. Okay? That's as far as you have to go. What this allows someone to do is, though, is rather than making a chart, what they can do is you can just pick any week you want. Week is represented by x. Okay, so let's say we want to know how tall the plant is after 2 weeks. What you could do is you could substitute 2 in the place of this x right here and write 2 times 2 plus 3. Okay, 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay, so what that means is y is 7. That tells me that at week 2, the plant was 7 inches high. Okay, so this is just a general formula or equation that I can use to find out how tall the plant is after any number of weeks. Okay, you won't normally have to do that for every problem. I'm just explaining it so that you understand what that equation does. Okay, let's go on to example 2. The table below shows the amount of money Joe had in his savings account every week for a month. Write an equation represented by the information in the table. Okay, once again, you're going to start with y equals some number times x plus some other number. Okay, the number in front of x was the rate of increase. Okay, I'm going to write that again. Okay, and this number over here, in this problem, was how tall was the plant at the starting point, or at week 0. Okay, so I'm going to put at week 0. All right, so this one is not talking about plants, it's talking about money. At week 1, Joe has saved $15. Week 2, he has $17 in his account. Week 3, he has $19. Week 4, he has $21. So we want to fill in the 2 boxes up here. To fill out the first box, we want to figure out how much money is increased each week in his savings account. Okay, from week 1 to week 2, you're going from 15 to 17. He's adding $2 that week. Next week, week 2 to week 3, he's going from $17 to $19. He's adding, once again, $2. From week 3 to week 4, okay, once again, he's adding $2. Since the chart or the table is increasing by 2 every time, that 2 is the number that goes in front of the x. So far we have y equals 2x plus we need to know how much money he had at the starting point before we started counting his money. Okay, once again, I'm going to squeeze in a 0 at 0 weeks. Okay, how much money did he have at 0 weeks? Okay, the answer is $13 because every week he increases by $2. So to go backwards, you would subtract 2 from 15. Okay, so 13 to 15 is $2. So at week 0, he has $13. So that's what you put right there. That was his starting point at week 0. So your final answer, or your equation, is y equals 2x plus 13. Okay, that's all that they want for that problem. Example 3. The table this time shows the weight of Todd every week for a month. Write an equation represented by the information in the table. Okay, this talks about Todd's body weight. At week 1, he weighs 103 pounds. Week 2, he weighs 106. He must be eating those hamburgers. Week 3, he weighs 109, this time hot dogs. And week 4, he weighs 112 pounds. He must have had a lot of birthday cake that week. Okay, he is now up to 112 pounds, okay? So start again with your equation. Y equals box X plus box, okay? I need to figure out what goes in this first box, okay? And once again, that's the rate that his weight is increasing by. Okay, you look at the pattern. Every week, his weight is increasing by 3 as he keeps eating more and more. Okay, so you put a 3 in front of the x, 3 times x. The other number means his starting point, okay? How much did he weigh before he started eating all of this food? Okay, so at week 0, he weighed 100 pounds. Okay, because you just subtract 3 from the 103 to get the 100 pounds at week 0. So that 100 is what you place in this box here. So your final answer is y equals 3x plus 100. And hopefully he stops eating all this food. I'd hate to see his weight at week 5. Okay, from this point, stop the video, try problem for yourself, and then come back and check with me. Okay, example 4. The table shows below the total amount of rain that Pittsburgh had every week for a month. Write an equation represented by the information in the table. Week 1, there were 3 inches of rain. Week 2, there were 5 inches. Week 3, there were 7 inches. Week 4, there were 9 inches. Okay, so once again, start off with your y equals some number times x plus some number. Okay, to figure out the number in front of x, that's the rate at which the rain is increasing by. Okay, if you look at your chart, every week the rain is increasing by 2 inches. So that's the number that you're going to put in front of the x. 2 times x plus what goes in the second box is the starting point of the rain before we started counting how much rain we had. At week 0, we only had 1 inch of rain, okay? And I got that by subtracting 2 from the 3, okay? So it increases by 2, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Okay, so you put that 1 in this box over here. That's how much rain we had at week 0. Okay, so your final answer or your final equation is y equals 2x plus 1. Okay, and that's your final answer. So what you've been able to do now is I've given you a table that involved a word problem, and from that you were able to create an equation which you're finding 2 numbers. You're always finding the rate, and you're also finding the starting point, or how much was there at week 0. Okay, you may now stop the video. You can either rewatch it if you need to watch it again, or you can go on to the very last video.